Welcome, everyone, to episode 116 of the Chris Parrish podcast. My name is Chris Parrish. We are here with On the Clock. And how funny was it? That 10:15 hit. You had to wait an extra minute. Sorry. That's what happens when connection goes a little weary. So just a little quick reset always does the trick. But fear not. I'm here, episode 116 of the Chris Parrish podcast, On the Clock. How's everybody doing? Want to let everybody know that if by chance you were up early, you could have gone to Beercade YEG to catch that Olympic men's final. Yes, if you're Canadian, my heart is with you. But if you're an American, congratulations on the gold medal win. But Beercade YEG, located at 10544 82nd Street, was your home to watch that game, just like it is your home to watch all WWE, PLEs, and AEW pay-per-views. So make sure you go check out them when you're in the Edmonton, Alberta area, because sometimes you just might see me, and we can enjoy a couple of good old Canadian sea changes and watch some good old wrestling. Be sure to check out turnbucklestudios.org. That is the homepage to Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Group. So please go to turnbucklestudios.org. Support Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Group as much as you can. Do want to let everybody know that we have a good show tonight because we're going to do a little bit of running it back with what we talked about last week. That's right. We're on the road to Elimination Chamber. We are just less than a week away, 6 days to be exact. And we only have one more member on each side, men's and women's, to qualify. That's right. We will see those matches tomorrow on Raw. Who's it going to be? Who is going to punch their ticket to Elimination Chamber? It's going to be very interesting. Is it Jey Uso? Is it going to be Bronson Reed, or is it going to be El Grande Americano Original? And then on the women's side, we have Io Sky. We have Raquel Rodriguez. And I am actually blanking on the other one. I need my Chris Bust and I need my Bobby Stats in the chat. But what we do need right now is everybody to make sure they are doing everything they can to support the socials. That's right. If you follow Chris Parrish, myself, on any platform, whether it's Facebook, Twitch, Kick, YouTube, X, Instagram, all that good stuff. Obviously, you can find everything down below on my link tree. But if you can, hit a quick follow, hit a quick like, hit that notification bell button to alert yourself every time I go live, whether it's every Sunday at 10 or 12:15 Eastern, 10:15 local time, or maybe, just maybe, it'll be for that amazing watch party that's coming soon for NXT. That's right. Let's talk about it. I will be doing a live watch party for the next NXT PLE Vengeance Day. So make sure you're checking that out. I believe that is going to be Saturday. I believe that's March 7th. So let's have some fun as we talk some NXT as we gear up for their WrestleMania that they call Stand and Deliver. Now, I do hope everybody can enjoy what they're watching here today, because I do know that there are a little bit of issues on the X side. So if by chance you're trying to watch on X and it's not working, just jump to a YouTube or check out the Chris Parrish podcast live on Kick, or even one of the Turnbuckle Studios, whether it's YouTube or Twitch as well, as that is where we're being shown. So the question is, who's going to punch their ticket in? We all know that on Elimination Chamber, we could see a new World Heavyweight Champion, a new Intercontinental Champion. But the question I want to ask is, who's going to be on the clock for the tag team? Who's going to be on the clock for the women's division on that tag team side? Because we know Rhea Ripley is in the chamber. We know that her tag team champion partner, Io Sky, has a qualification match on Monday, just tomorrow. But then on Friday, they are defending those tag titles against Lash Legend and Nia Jax. So the question remains, who is going to punch their ticket to WrestleMania? Who is on the clock? Who is ready to make that big move to solidify their road to WrestleMania? I'm very interested to see kind of what Lyra Valkyria and Bayley do in the tag team division. Have we seen kind of the last of the Kabuki Warriors? As we all know, Asuka is in the Elimination Chamber. Do we think that if Asuka by chance does not win, we could see Kairi Sane and Asuka go back to the tag team division, or do we think this is the end for them? Wouldn't be the best time for them to kind of get in each other's crosshair, but I do think that's where we're going. I do think that's where we're leading. And then when you look at the men's side of things, Finn Balor, he is right on the cusp of becoming a world heavyweight champion. He is just one win away as he takes on CM Punk at Elimination Chamber. But the question is, if he does not walk away with that championship, what's his move to get on that WrestleMania card? Because he missed out on the Royal Rumble. Can Finn Balor afford to miss WrestleMania 2? I think this is one of the most integral parts of that road to WrestleMania. We only have the one PLE left in between, and that is Elimination Chamber. And there's only been a few matches announced, whether it's the Intercontinental Championship match between Becky Lynch and AJ Lee. We got CM Punk defending his World Heavyweight title against Finn Balor. And we got the 2 Elimination Chamber matches. Now, we do know the women's will go for the champion that Liv Morgan does not pick. And we'll find that out tomorrow, as Liv Morgan is expected to name her opponent at WrestleMania. At the very least, which title she is going after. All sights and all eyes are locked in on Stephanie McMahon right now, because are they going after each other verbally every Monday night? And I just think that this is getting too intense for Liv Morgan to pick Jade Cargill. So the big question remains, if this Elimination Chamber match dictates the opponent for one, Jade Cargill, are we looking at Tiffany Stratton as the odds-on favorite? Are we looking at Rhea Ripley as that favorite? And then is that not foreshadowing that maybe, just maybe, Rhea and Io will lose the tag team championships on Friday? But I kind of want to stay in that tag team division, because right now we know that the MFTs and the Wyatt Six are battling all over the place. Whether it's on the mic, in the ring, we know the MFTs have the tag team titles. We know the Wyatt Six not only want their titles back, they want their lantern back. Shinsuke Nakamura wants Tama Tonga to be on his own. Uncle Howdy wants Solo Sikoa one-on-one, nobody else. It seems like the tag titles have taken a back seat in that feud. And then moving over to Raw, our tag team champions, the Usos, tag team titles have also temporarily taken a backseat, as Jey Uso has a chance to qualify tomorrow for the Elimination Chamber himself. And if he does, that means Elimination Chamber will not feature the tag team titles on Raw. So the question is, who steps up for the tag titles? We know there's a plethora of tag teams. Creed Brothers. We got the Viking Raiders. Or the War Raiders. Sorry. Viking Raiders. We know we have teams like Otis and Tozawa. We know we have the New Day. We know we have any two members of the Vision, most likely to be Austin Theory and Logan Paul. We know on SmackDown, you could go with Motor City Machine Guns. You can go with Fraxium. Street Profits we haven't seen in a while. So there's not a shortage of opponents, but the question is, who is going to make that move to go after the championships at WrestleMania? And I feel right now we need somebody to do something quick because we are running out of time as WrestleMania is just over a month away. We are sitting on the 22nd of February, which means we are less than 60 days to WrestleMania, which means just a little over a month. So time's ticking. We're on the clock. Who's it going to be? And then on top of all that, the big question that surrounds WWE right now is the mystery. The mystery of who's behind the mask and what or who is inside that crate. If you guys are wanting my opinion, I do think eventually we will find out that Seth Rollins is behind the mask. Do I think he is physically doing it all right now? No. I do think they have a combination of probably Grayson Waller and probably JD McDonough acting as the human being until Seth Rollins is medically cleared. But I do think when it's all said and done, I think Seth Rollins will end up costing Bronson Reed the Elimination Chamber spot. That way, I do have Bronson Reed either is going to be qualified or he is going to be missing out because of Seth Rollins. But I do think Seth Rollins in Chicago makes sense. It's kind of also makes sense. And just like Chris Best coming in right now saying, I'm hearing the man in the crate is Danhausen. I am on that same page. If it's going to be anybody at all, I think it's going to be somebody of a character. I don't think it's going to be somebody to take seriously. Danhausen is a character. I do think right now the best bet is if Danhausen is to come on, I'd love to see him in NXT, to be quite honest. I just don't see how he fits the chaotic nature of Monday Night Raw. And I think he just gets in the way on SmackDown. Especially when you already have R-Truth. You already have other acts on Raw that could do kind of that comedic style. Danhausen, I do think, serves a purpose in NXT, and imagine him being somebody that Robert Stone has to deal with every Tuesday. I think it'd be quite entertaining to watch. So those are the big mysteries. And then you also have to look at, when is Royce Keys going to make an appearance on Raw and SmackDown? And if he does, who does he sign with? Who does Obafemi sign with? We know both Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce have made offers to Obafemi, but he'll just show up, dominate, show up, dominate, show up, dominate. At some point, I think we need to know who Obafemi chooses to go with. My guess is he's going to go to Raw, and we're going to get Royce Keys on SmackDown. But I think right now, it's time to make those decisions. And I don't see why we can't make that decision on the week that follows Elimination Chamber. We did see on Monday that Rusev had that little stare down backstage with Obafemi. No words were needed. No words were said. But it's a match that tickles all of our funny bones. I know the rumor going to WrestleMania is Obafemi and Brock Lesnar, but what if, just what if, they do a little 360? And when I say they, I mean creative for WWE. What if Obafemi and Brock Lesnar is not your match at WrestleMania? Let's just have some fun and just say, what if that's just a misdirection rumor? Say Gunther and Brock Lesnar is the match. What would the right person be for Obafemi at WrestleMania? Because I think we can go a plethora of ways. I really do. I think we could get Obafemi and maybe your Royce Keys if he comes in, and why not have a future match between these two? Why not have, if Obafemi goes to SmackDown, why can't we do Obafemi and Cody Rhodes and run that back? What if Obafemi chooses to alongside himself with Seth Rollins, who returns, and maybe Obafemi's part of Seth Rollins' vision to eliminate Paul Heyman's vision? So I think the big question is, if by chance what we're hearing doesn't happen, where else could we go? And I think that is the big one. Now, I will say, a lot of people have asked me, Chris Parrish, love the new logo, love the new look, but are you going to change your video? And the short answer is yes. But the question is, it's got to be the right video. And that's where I need help. So if you want to go to turnbucklestudios.org/join, that is your best way to get involved with the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program and potentially help out with the TAP. But if you need a little bit more of a visual, we do have a 30-second video for you. So check this out real quick.
A Turnbuckle Affiliation program is looking for more people. If you have passion level for pro wrestling, sports, video games, or something else, then Turnbuckle Studios is the place to be. If you have ever wanted to pursue content creation and want to join our team, then we would love to have you. Check out turnbucklestudios.org or contact us by email today, because your future is now, and we want you to tap in.
That's right, everybody. If you want to go to turnbucklestudios.org/join, the best place to go. Direct, right there. We ask you just to fill out a form. That way we can get to know you. We'll schedule a meeting. We'll schedule some conversations. And then we will work together to find out what your best way of helping the team is, whether it's on screen, whether it's behind the camera. Whatever the case may be, we are looking for more people to help out, just to make this program and this show, among all the other shows on Turnbuckle Affiliation Program, just that much better. Why? Because we're serious about what we do, and we want to make everybody's experience better moving forward. And if you want to really dive on WWE right now, the one thing I just am saying that I am hooked by more than anything is the battles between El Grande Americano and El Grande Americano original. Now, I'm not a big fan of the original name. I would just take original out. It's like when you play WWE 2K20, whatever. You can play as Shawn Michaels, or you can play as Shawn Michaels, quotation 94, or quotation 97. Can we just get rid of the quotation 94 or 97 or whatever that case may be? Because it looks stupid on the name bar. Just like I think the original takes away from the burning question of who is El Grande Americano. Clearly, right now, it's the one with Rayo and Bravo, since he doesn't have anything else attached to his name. And we all know that version came second. But how can you be the first El Grande Americano when somebody else has that name and you added on to it? Now, I understand the whole idea is that he was the original El Grande Americano. But there has to be a better way to present it. Because how can you be El Grande Americano when somebody else is using that name and you had to alter it? I think the logic there is a little off. Now, we all know, and we all have our ideas of who is behind the masks. And I think the whole idea is to lead into a match at WrestleMania between the two. And I think it's just going to be those two. Unless we get a tag team, something. Hello, Bobby Bonito. How are you doing? Thanks for joining us. We are talking some El Grande Americano action right now, as the assumption is that they're going to face each other at WrestleMania, but and CBS Entertainment coming in said it's going to be mask versus mask, and this is exactly now. I have a detour of an opinion. I really hope it's not. I think we can go longer with this story. Now, I know they've been trying to unmask each other as of late, so the seeds are planted. I think it's safe to say that's where we're going by now. But I kind of would like to see something more added to this. I would like to see maybe a AAA match between the two. Whether it's a 6-man match. The winning team decides a stipulation for WrestleMania. That way, we can get the heel team choosing the stipulation, whether it's mask on mask, or it's loser leaves. Hear me out. Because how great would it be is, or even just winner gets the name El Grande Americano. Because that way, say at WrestleMania, you have this big match and we find out, boom, El Grande Americano with Rayo and Bravo. Say they win. And this is the way we get what we assume is the original and Chad Gable. Back to Chad Gable. Back as a presentation of Chad Gable. And that way he can bring in the Creed brothers. They can feud with Rayo and Bravo and El Grande Americano. And this now leaves to, hey, let's have a rematch. But if you win, we leave Raw. But if we win, you three unmask. And we work to it. We just work to it. I think we can get a lot more out of this story. Because right now, El Grande Americano original has no association to the Creed brothers, but Chad Gable does. So if we take the mask off and it's Chad Gable, he has a reason to bring in some backup. And then that way, the good guys ultimately win. And we get everything that we want. And then you can keep going with the Creeds and Gable going up against whoever by chance is under those hoods, which the internet tells me, and the internet's always right. They're never wrong about anything, and they're never arguing about anything. But they're telling me that it's Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, and Ludwig Kaiser. So how good of a little 6-man would that be? Say, because I do my best Shawn Michaels, SummerSlam. I think we can really lengthen this story because let's face it, the fact that we're still talking about this story in February 2026 is pretty crazy given how silly it was to begin with. Remember when El Grande Americano made his WrestleMania debut last year? Well, a year later, and the gimmick and the character is hotter than it's ever been. So I say, continue to let it breathe. I think the last thing we'd want is somebody like going back to the crate if it's Danhausen, for Danhausen to mess up this, because I like to see this from a natural standpoint. Again, Danhausen, NXT, be a thorn in the side of Mr. Stone, I think would be very good as long as he's very evil. Now, you know what's very good? Clothes, phone cases, pillows, all that stuff. But it's expensive. It really is. I can go out and look to get a hoodie, zipped up hoodie, and it's like $50 now. It's a little ridiculous. T-shirts are like $40 to $50. Have you gone on WWEshop.com lately? Yeah. Want to get that nice Finn Balor t-shirt? It's like $60 American. It's crazy. It's insane. So that's why over at Turnbuckle Studios, we've operated a store called turnbucklestudios.org/shop as we partner up with Redbubble to create a store for every single one of you. So you do not have to spend that much money. And instead of maybe a Finn Balor ring, whatever, which I know would be cool, maybe just maybe you want to slap one of our logos on, like this beautiful new Chris Parrish podcast logo. You just slap it right on your chest. Who wouldn't want that? You can put it on a pillowcase. It looks pretty solid in there. But once again, tired of me talking about it? Well, just watch.
The Turnbuckle Studios store is open for you 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Get the merch and represent the best from the shows you watch on a weekly basis. Multiple styles to choose from with over 10 products available. Don't get left out and pick up all your favorites today. Find us at turnbucklestudios.org.
And that's right. Not only is turnbucklestudios.org our official website, but there's so much to do. You can go /host and check out everyone who currently has and does shows for the Turnbuckle affiliation program. /join if you want to become a member of Turnbuckle's affiliation program. /shop if you want to buy and purchase memorabilia featuring the shows that those hosts do. And that's just some of the things. You can watch latest episodic shows just from a click of the button. You click every member of your host, boom, it goes directly to their social page. For a lot of us, it's our link trees. For Bubba Duke, it's something else because he doesn't have a link tree. So we like to make turnbucklestudios.org very simple, very easy for every one of you because we all know we want quick information. We don't want to get frustrated when we're online. So we made it easy, made it affordable. So you can enjoy and support at a reasonable price. Speaking of reasonable prices, how about those WrestleMania tickets? Now, if you haven't already bought WrestleMania tickets, let me know how absolutely just annoyed you are with WWE choosing to cut the prices. Which, by the way, let's at least give them a round of applause for acknowledging that the prices were too damn high. When even Rob Van Dam are saying, I wish I can get that high. They might be a little bit much. WrestleMania season or WrestleMania tickets right now have been the most expensive they've been ever. And they've constantly gone up in the last 5 years. So the fact that that the company has acknowledged this and at the very least tried to make somewhat of a call, get it, still a business, want to make their money. They're a publicly traded company, so I understand it. But if you want, say, 100,000 people to check out WrestleMania these years on both nights, you want to at least make sure that it's affordable to go. Because let's be honest, it's not just the tickets, it's the combinations, it's the store, it's the merchandise, it's the food, it's the experience in a nutshell. So that's why I say, at least good on WWE for trying something. Now, can they try harder? Who are we to say? We're not the millionaires running that company. I can tell you, though, if you want to watch WrestleMania Night 1 and 2, you can check out the PLE Patrol. That's right. That is not a weekly show that we do, but it is a show that you can find out. And you can watch WrestleMania with every single one of us over at the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program. If you're in Edmonton, come to Barricade YEG. And you can watch it alongside me and alongside other people. And we can have some fun, play some games, eat some good food, maybe drink. Drink one beer. What? Drink 2 beers. What? Maybe drink a Bloody Mary. Who knows? I don't even know if they have them. They probably do. But all signs are pointing to WrestleMania. And next week, we're going to have a lot of fun because I am going to try to finish the job and book the rest of the card of WrestleMania. So it's going to be a very fun episode next week. And I know I typically do this at the end, but why not do it in the middle? As I give you a little preview what to expect next week over on the Chris Parrish podcast. That's right. Episode 117 next week. Going to be called Card Game. That's right. Card Game. Because who doesn't like some card games here? But we're gonna play some games. We collectively are gonna try to finish booking the rest of the WrestleMania card. At least by then, by next week, not only will we know who's challenging who for the women's titles and the men's on both sides, we'll have a little bit more of an idea of what's shaping up WrestleMania as. Obviously, we'll talk Elimination Chamber results as well as we'll talk about who Liv Morgan picks. I'm sure we'll find out more about that tomorrow during the Monday Night Raw Patrol. But that's a time for another day. We're right here on the clock on episode 116. And I think kind of piggybacking off of last week and talking about everyone that is having a hard time getting to WrestleMania. Let's talk about the struggles that just can't seem to escape one Sami Zayn. For the first time, we really saw him blow up on Cody Rhodes, like truthfully, on SmackDown. Telling Cody Rhodes that he should be ashamed of how he won. telling Cody Rhodes that he's the golden boy and everybody is choosing him. And then good on Cody Rhodes for stepping up for himself and saying, I saw an opportunity in a match that has no disqualifications, by the way, and I took it. These are the opportunities. This is the time frame where you have to take those opportunities to get to a WrestleMania. And these are the reasons why you're not and never been WWE champion. It's a hard truth. And of course, Sami Zayn gets mad. He's too proud for his own good at times. And it's hard because Sami Zayn is somebody that has tried so hard to be good and do the right thing all the time. And the expression is nice guys finish last. And yes, we've seen Sami Zayn turn the corner from babyface to heel, but that didn't get him anywhere. We all know the closest they got Sami Zayn was the Intercontinental Championship, and then it got him in the bloodline, and that pulled him further away from the championship. Maybe closer to the physical title, but away from competing for it. Even though it did ultimately lead him an opportunity there. Who would have thought if he didn't do that, if he would have had more? So I have to feel for Sami Zayn in the sense of, what is this WrestleMania going to be like for Sami Zayn? And does Sami Zayn, is he the epitome of someone that makes sense for a Money in the Bank later this year? And instead of doing everything the right way, he starts doing things the Sami way. Who can argue him? But if you're asking me right now, where Sami Zayn looks at WrestleMania, right now I'm looking at Sami Zayn as the odd man out of WrestleMania this year. And that hurts to say. I really like Sami Zayn. But he has nothing going on. He has no direction. He's not chasing a championship. He has no feuds really going on. So it's really hard to say how I view Sami Zayn at WrestleMania when there's just nothing for him. Right now, Kit Wilson has more going for him. Trick Williams has more going on. We all know that Trick Williams and Sami Zayn had a little bit of a thing last, or just on Friday as well. Because right after Cody Rhodes kind of gave Sami the hard truth, Trick Williams kind of flaunted in the face that he was going to do something that Sami couldn't. And that's qualified for the Elimination Chamber match. And Trick Williams did just that. So let's talk about it. Trick Williams, ever since coming up on the main roster on SmackDown, has been absolutely blown up. And this is what I love about that triple threat match with Damian Priest and Carmelo Hayes, is that you had the United States champion in that match, and he was not pinned. You can tell keeping Carmelo and Trick away from each other right now is on purpose. And we haven't really seen much with them yet, but you can tell that it's eventually going to happen. And when it is, it's going to feel fresh at that time. So I do like the fact that they're keeping those two away from one another right now. And a win over Damian Priest for Trick Williams gives him more of a jump into that conversation than a win over Carmelo Hayes. Because if he pins Carmelo Hayes, it just shows you that he can be United States champion. But a win over somebody like Damian Priest, a former world heavyweight champion, now puts him in conversation to be a number one contender for the WWE Universal Championship. And that is something that helps the perception and the aura of Trick Williams that much more. Now, I would say he's been one of the hottest superstars in SmackDown, but let's also talk about guys like Tama Tonga. He's defeated Ilya Dragunov, Shinsuke Nakamura, Carmelo Hayes. Just in the recent weeks, he's one half the tag champions. Secretly, WWE is really pushing a lot of the quote-unquote mid-card guys strongly. You look at how good Carmelo Hayes has been ever since winning that championship, and he seems like he is playing at a different level. You look at guys like Ilya Dragunov, who are just earning for something to go his way ever since losing the championship, and guess what? The more he does things, the more people are caring because of the job he did for the United States Championship. But the big question is now, where does he fit going into the WrestleMania as well? Because until we get closure between the MFTs and the Wyatts, I don't know if we're going to get anything involving Ilya Dragunov with the MFTs right now. But if by chance that's something that closes, then all of a sudden you have guys like Ilya Dragunov. You have guys like Matt Cardona, Apollo Crews, who came to help out Dragunov after getting attacked by the MFTs. You also could look at Shinsuke Nakamura, who's been kind of trying to get in the ear of Tama Tonga and has been doing so for a lot. And the big question is, does Tama Tonga eventually disassociate himself from the MFTs? As for the first time, we saw Solo acknowledge Tama as the guy that's been by his side since day one, never betrayed him. Why would that come up unless we're talking about somebody eventually betraying them? So to me, that's the big question right now. Do we see the MFTs blow up before WrestleMania? You know? And if that's the case, are we lining ourselves up for a multi-man match at WrestleMania? I don't know. All I know, it's pretty interesting of how things can come together. And like I said, we are less than 60 days to WrestleMania. I believe WrestleMania is April 18th and 19th. We're sitting at February 22nd right now. So, yeah, we are about 8 weeks shy of WrestleMania right now, and it's still open. The clock's ticking, and we need to know who's it gonna be. It's kind of like we're on the clock, ready to make some choices, and that is something to talk about. But everything to talk about comes at a price, right? Just like every show we have, whether it's the Raw Patrol, whether it's SmackDown Security Detailed, Chris Parrish Podcast, Brace for Impact, Turnbuckle Talk, Saturday Night's Gaming, PlayStation Showcase, The Locker Room, all that good stuff. Yeah, that's right. I'm naming all the shows because I can. You know why? Because I have played and I have watched our weekly calendar so many times. Question is, how many can you name? Can you name them all? Or do you need a video to help you remind yourself what is on tap every week?
Turnbuckle Studios and the Turnbuckle Affiliation Program bring you the week of streams. All times are in Eastern Time. Monday nights you get the Locker Room Breakdown at 7 p.m., followed by the Raw Patrol at 8 p.m. Tuesday brings you the flagship show, Turnbuckle Talk, at 8:05 p.m. Wednesday we play games with the PlayStation Showcase at 8 p.m. Thursday we go TNA as we brace for Impact at 9 p.m. On Fridays, join us for the SmackDown Security Detail at 8 p.m. The weekend brings you Saturday Night Gaming at 8 p.m. On Sunday, be sure to catch the Chris Parrish Podcast at 12:15 p.m. And later that night, we have the Borstnest at 8 p.m. Be part of the shows and join the chat every day. And please visit turnbucklestudios.org.
And just so nobody's on me later, yes, Kairi Sane was the third person in that qualification match. Tomorrow, Kairi Sane, does she have what it takes to qualify? Can we really count her out after Friday seeing Kiana James qualify, outsmarting the veteran Charlotte and using that figure eight into a bridge pin to get the 1, 2, 3? I thought that was intelligent. I really did. I don't think anybody had Kiana James on the bingo card, but guess what? She punched her ticket to the Elimination Chamber, and she shocked everyone by doing it. And I'm not going to lie, I like the fact that we're not going to get both Alexa Bliss and Charlotte in. Maybe, just maybe, we won't get all of Rhea Ripley and Io in either. As Io, Kairi, Raquel all battle for that final spot in the female Elimination Chamber match. I do hope it's Raquel. Why? Because I think it would be great if tomorrow Liv Morgan chooses Stephanie Vaquer and then Raquel is going after Jade Cargill. It would be a fresh matchup, something we haven't seen, and maybe, just maybe, the girls of the Judgment Day could close WrestleMania out by being double champions. So, I don't know, that's kind of what I'd hope for, but more of that WrestleMania stuff next week. We are just wondering what it's going to be and trying to clear that picture for everyone. Kind of like when a team's on the clock to make a draft pick, who are they taking? Who are they trying to shape their team around? So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to select who we think this whole Elimination Chamber is going to be shaped around, how this build to WrestleMania is going to be shaped around, and how we can clear the smoke that is filling this road to WrestleMania. Now, who do we honestly believe is walking out of the men's Elimination Chamber match? Right now, we do have 5 out of the 6. One of Jey Uso, El Grande Americano, our original, or Bronson Reed will fill out the final spot that already includes Javon Evans, Trick Williams, Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and the megastar L.A. Knight. I am not going to lie. I don't think this is going to be as direct as people think. Meaning, I don't think it's Cody Rhodes. I don't think Cody Rhodes needs to win this match. In fact, I have Randy Orton winning this match. Because as much as I believe that we're not going to get a true just Randy versus Drew match at WrestleMania, we could very well have Jacob Fatu a part of this match as well. But why stop at a triple threat when we could have a fatal 4-way with Randy Orton? I think, why not? I think, why not? We can be honest in the sense that Drew McIntyre is only champion because of Jacob's assistance in that match in Germany during the 3 stages of hell in their cage match. Cody Rhodes can say the only reason why it's not a true one-on-one match with me and you is because you cost me the Royal Rumble. Jacob Fatu has this want to get to Drew McIntyre. Did Drew take him out? Is Drew McIntyre the reason Jacob Fatu had to miss so much time by having 11 teeth replaced? Looks like Cody and Jacob Fatu have reasons to get to Drew McIntyre that aren't necessarily Royal Rumble or Chamber win. But Randy Orton does need something like that to get his name into that title picture. And that is where he comes in, as I think he could be the winner of the Elimination Chamber match. So that's how I think we kind of go into it all. And then we could have, I think it's going to be very intriguing to see kind of how LA Knight does in this match. He is someone that I'm very intrigued by, but if Bronson Reed is in this match and Seth Rollins comes back, I could see Seth Rollins helping LA Knight pin and eliminate Bronson Reed, and that very well could shape a direction coming out of Elimination Chamber. Elimination Chamber is just 6 days away. You can check that out on all the Turnbuckle Studios platforms, whether it's the Kick, the YouTube, the Twitch, Facebook. And that's going to take place this Saturday on the 28th. Make sure you're checking it out. It's 8 o'clock Eastern time, 6 o'clock Alberta time. So make sure you're checking that out. That is the show you cannot see on the weekly calendar, but the PLE Patrol will be live for Elimination Chamber. So make sure you're checking that out. That brings us to the end of episode 116 of the Chris Parrish podcast. And I just want to say once again, I thank every single one of you for stopping by, checking out. One more time, if you want to help support the Chris Parrish podcast, please take this time to like, to follow, to share, to subscribe to all forms of it. Whether it's my Facebook, my YouTube, my Kick, the Chris Parrish podcast on Kick. That is the official handle. Whether or not you want to support the Chris Parrish podcast on Spotify, rate those episodes, like that page, follow, all that good stuff. Everything you can find is just down below on my link tree at Chris Parrish. Once again, this has been Bobby, thank you. I appreciate that. This has been episode 116 on the clock of the Chris Parrish podcast. Had a lot of fun talking the lead up going into Elimination Chamber. Can't wait to see how the smoke is lifted and we get a more of a clear picture leading into WrestleMania. So please make sure on this beautiful Sunday, everyone, you stay true and you be happy, you be healthy, you be yourself, because at the end of every day, you matter. I'll see you next week.
Rip through the clouds, faster, catch us from falling close to the ground. Perish or